Die is cast for the prestigious live radio debate. The debate that every delegate in Imo State needs to listen to. Would you rather exchange the future of your people for today's little change? On the 11th of May, 5 senatorial aspirants will come live on Boss Radio for one purpose: to battle for the senatorial ticket of Owerri Zone under the APC. Why should your party choose you? The 5 aspirants contending for the ticket for Imo East senatorial zone under the APC are Dr. Kemdi Opara, Chief Mrs. Betty Akeredolu, Prince Alex Mbata, Chief Jerry Chukwueke, and Prince Sly Mwachuku. Who amongst these aspirants deserves to be given the mandate? The mandate to represent Imo East in the Senate. Join the live debate on the 11th of May from 7 to 9 p.m. on Boss Radio 98.9 FM Owerri.
A very warm good evening to you and welcome to the pre-primaries live radio special broadcast for the All Progressives Congress APC on the trailblazing radio station Boss Radio 98.9 FM Owerri. This live broadcast is for the APC aspirants contesting for the sole ticket to be the party's flag bearer in the Imo East senatorial district election. We're talking about the Owerri zone.
Dr. Kemdi Chino Opara, you're welcome to Boss Radio.
Good evening, the good people of Owerri zone. Thank you for having me. I've come to show what I know, what I've seen, because of my background and exposure, my world view exposure, to see what I can do to make it better around here. So I'm a philanthropist to the core. I've been so passionate in doing that. I love helping people. Charity work becomes a passion for me. And I've been doing that since the 90s. As far back as 1999, when the local government health centers were operating very well. I have given so much to especially Owerri zone.
Clinton Young Nadi says this man sounds really intelligent and smart. Dr. Kemdi Chino Opara will do well from his strong will of speaking. So keep the comments coming.
All right, you did mention, Doctor, in your opening statement about the importance of that one vote. What is your campaign team doing to ensure that people, the electorate, are well informed, made aware that their votes?
Let me start by saying the vision, the mission, and the decision to run for this red chamber, the Imo senatorial seat East, didn't start today. It started like 2 years ago, a little over 2 years ago. And during that period, what we did was, first of all, I had to assemble a structure that makes sense, that looks like where I am, the people I'm coming to serve. Drawing a pool from all 9 local governments. And I had an organigram that really worked for me.
Okay.
And in my journey of back and forth, because many times I wasn't here, but there's this thing that calls the mark of a good leader. When you have a vision, you have to inculcate that vision, share that your vision, so that your followers or your loyalists could run with it and even do it better. Because if you have a vision, it kind of revolves around you, and you're not able to share that vision to make people reflect in that vision, then there is a question mark in your leadership. I was able to do this very well. So even in my absence, it was as if I was still here.
Okay.
And we use what they call like a John the Baptist approach, whereby they were moving around, crisscrossing the whole 9 local governments, meeting leaders. And what that John the Baptist approach, if you're a student of the Bible, is they were moving around announcing the birth of Christ. So, here we are today. That was the outcome of that movement. So people knew me, and when I came back, even in the process of them doing that, when I'm not there, I'm always on this, what do they call it, the workshop video when they're there. I interacted with the people. When I'm not really available because maybe I'm in a meeting or something in my office, they will give me that information of the leaders or whoever they consulted, and I would do a personal phone call to that leader and say, my people were there to interact with you. Thank you very much for hosting them. I hope it was very cordial, the visit was nice and all that. I will give a feedback of what's going on. So we did this for over 2 years. The process of that came the outcome of what we did in the Kemdi Chino Opara Foundation. You see, when you talk the talk, you have to walk the walk as well. And there is no two ways about what we're doing. We mean what we do, we conceive it, we act on it, and we get running with it. This Kemdi Chino Opara Foundation, we have looked for a lot of talents on the street of Owerri Zone. People selling things in the market, we have made them superstars, we have gotten record levels. So we are making people, we are teaching people how to fish, and we're not handing them fish. We're teaching them how to fish so that they can feed themselves for the rest of their lives.
Thank you very much, sir. You've done a lot. You've done a lot. And the comments are coming in, they're raining in all the time. I said, Churchy Dadiele here says, thank God for giving us Dr. Kemdi. Chiamaka Neze says, very selfless man, Dr. Kemdi. Ozomaka said, Dr. Kemdi Chino Opara, when you visited the APC Party Secretariat, you talked about development of young talents and showcased some of these musical talents. You have harnessed and developed. Harnessed and developed. Can we know more on what you will do to build a constituency office in Owerri and how you will make it accessible?
In my campaign, I've always said, this is one thing I must do. We want to flip the narrative. A lot of our people who have been in positions of leadership, from my observation, and also I think from the observation of so many people, there has never been an office to say this is where my senator resides. This is the office space. It has always been a makeshift offices, sometimes not even functional, which is not good. When you are representing a constituent, they should be able to find you. You should be able to have a functional office. Now, I thought about this. I said, 9 local governments for Owerri senatorial zone. How can I reach everywhere? So my agenda is an all-inclusive thing, and to have everyone participate in that program. I said, one thing we'll have to do if I become your senator, or when I become your senator actually, is that I must build a befitting office that will house the 9 local governments. Will have offices in that office, and represented by the community leaders or whoever the local governments decides who is going to be their go-between, between my office and them. That office is going to be very functional. And that is how I can reach each local government. That is how, because it's not going to be a one-size-fits-all. That is how I can know the programs, the projects that really matters to them. And that will be where we're going to have think tanks who will draw up a plan for Owerri Zone. And that particular office, after it's built, I will hand over this key to the leadership of Owerri Zone. And anybody who comes after me, the leadership of Owerri Zone will ceremonially lead that person into that office. So I will stop that era of running around my office here, their office here. We should have an address for your senator's office. That I will accomplish. Thank you very much.
This is Elder Clinton Chima from Urete. Sir, it is said that the youth are the leaders of tomorrow. What are your specific plans for these youths that are leaders of tomorrow?
In the talent hunt, we are doing that already. Like you see, people that are musically inclined, we have already promoted some of them, and we shall do more. People that are in acting program, we have already employed their services, we shall do more. And the list goes on and on.
But a lot of persons will say it's always very easy when you are campaigning like this to say your office will be open to all and sundry once you're elected. But once you're elected, phone numbers are changed, security details are upped, and it will be very, very difficult for people to have access to you. How do you react to that?
Anybody that knows me, since your ATM came out, my number has remained 1. Alright, I have been candidate for Federal House 4 times. Still, I maintain that same number. In US, I have 1 number, and that number has not changed in almost 40-something years. So I don't know. And I'm the one who keeps relationship. Even when you throw my number away, I'll call you back.
From Umachuku, Chika Dibioso.
Chika Dibia J.
Yeah, you have been hammering on visa processing and approval in your campaign speeches. How can this be a reality, especially to our youths who are making efforts to leave shores of this country?
My office as your senator will be fully staffed. There will be a minimum of 2 attorneys working in that office, whether I'm there or not. In that office, if you go to any of the embassies, these are little things that your honorable member, your senator can do for you. If you bring a letter of rejection, we will open a case file for you. We will find out the reasons why you were denied. And sometimes, 9 times out of 10, we will appeal the case for you, and you will get a reversal. It's been done. My parents enjoyed it.
Please, tell us more. How can this be done without people being marginalized or being treated in the office for what is done?
Good question, good question. Listen, my office is going to be open for all, because I'm going to be a servant of the people. That is who I will be, and I've always done that, even in my own private life. I love to help people. Sometimes when you don't know, you cannot resolve any issue. You have to be on the know to know what you're doing. So information is power, and good knowledge is good. First of all, we have to have a functional office where you can knock at the door and somebody will open the door and say, hello, may I help you? Right now, I don't think you have that. So you have a functional office where you go and you meet people who will be working. So my office must be open 5 days a week, from 9 to 5 to be precise. There'll be meetings going on there. There'll be different group, women group, youth group, this group. I will have different structures working, catering to your needs. So there will be people to help you, and I will be one senator that will at least dedicate 1 day of the week. If I'm not going to be there physically, I do a Zoom meeting. I love town hall meetings, so that I want you to feel the pulse of where I am, what is happening in Abuja, and I want you to know what is the reaction of my people here. You need to know. You need to know. So that's how we communicate. That is how we know how good I'm doing, how well I'm doing, when I'm actually serving you well. And let me tell you something. Some people like for you to praise them. Don't praise me. I love to hear the negatives. It makes me better. Tell me the things I'm not doing right. Don't tell me the ones I'm doing good. Once you tell me the things I'm not doing well, it strengthens me and it makes me a better person. So that's the kind of leader I want to be. There are things that I think that I can do differently to reach out to people like you, the youths, the youngsters, to make Owerri Zone a better place. And I could give you a highlight of some of them if you want. Okay, let's take one instance, the basic education. You see, the people, the youths now the generation have grown so big. So we want to change, do some kind of reorientation of our people, because we want to create a new generation of Imolites, a new generation of Nigerians, a new generation of Owerism. So we're going to start from the cradle. So we're going to cut them when they're young. So the basic education, for me, the position I take should be a right for everyone. And in that process, we also have to involve the parents. The parents will have a duty. If you watch now, that's some kind of a disconnect. And you have the private schools that have stepped in. It has become like a cash cow, kind of, and some of the parents cannot even afford to give that proper education, which is basic education, to the people. So you see a lot of kids hawking on the streets. It makes my heart bleed. So if we have a basic education that is free, no parents will have any reason not to make sure that these young kids are in school. When it's during a school period and the little child is seen outside wandering, then that parent should be punished somehow. Not get one person and show them a lesson that the life of a child is very important for this society. Now, that is also how making the basic education free is also how we can begin to make our society a very literate society. Right now we cannot say all that. Okay, you have how many percentage of this and how many percent. From that standpoint, from basic education comes a secondary school. In that secondary school, we have to now do a divergence of the academia and also the technical section of it. So if you want to be a good carpenter, you're not in the academia line, you're going to be the best carpenter, because there are books, there are carpentry books, there are electrical books. We teach you well to start creating a standard so that a carpenter can finish and also get the school certificate and be able to write invoice, speak good English, read things. On that note, that you don't want to go any further, it's fine. So this is, somebody has to start this. Somebody has to propose this. Somebody has to. The vision, I could see this picture of what I'm talking about. And it's not like a Cadillac science. It's something that is realizable, doable, can be done. Now if you run around or drive around, look at the elementary schools where you went to school. Tell me whether you like what you see. It is looking worse than before. So would it take a lot of money, a lot of effort to really rehabilitate some of these schools? This is a time when insecurity and all that stuff. How are we protecting these children? Who is dropping them off in the schools? Yes.
Yeah. We are hearing tonight is different from what we keep hearing from aspiring politicians. And it's that this is a different breed altogether. But I have a question for you. Have you agree with me that the governor of Imo State is the manage who are to achieve his very mantra? Please, I am coming to Senator. How are you to partner with the governor of Imo? If eventually you become a senator from Owerri, please, how prepared to help the governor in this race?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. This is one reason why I jumped to run for Senate. I've watched the senator. It's a Teflon senator. It's a senator with ideas. Very smart. And as you look around some of the things that he has done, he's doing them very well. Look at the roads. Look at the decongestion of traffic. You see, this is a man with ideas. People must give him a chance. This is one reason. Because he needs this Owerri zone. He needs someone who is also a visionary like him, who could work with him, partner with him, to do good by the Imolites. And I'm one person who can do that with him. I love the man. I like his ways. I like his leadership. And that is why I actually joined APC, and to walk along with him to make our people proud. And I think everybody should give him a chance and support him by voting the right people in.
This one is from Chiamaka Uneze. She said Dr. Kemdi has been putting smiles on the faces of people in different areas of life. We are blessed to have him, and the best thing is to vote him in and let the good work continue. Thanks for making us stars. We love you. Apparently this is an appreciation of some of your effort at making some people stars.
What measures, what things will you put in place to make sure that we have a reduction in all these vices and in all these intimidations going on in the state and in our zone in particular? My second question goes like this. In your own local government, what and other 9 local governments, what impact can you impute in those local governments to make sure you have your name well written in the sands of time? That is the question I want to ask, and I wish you very good luck and God bless you in your journey to the red chambers.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Well, listen, education is power. And empowerment goes beyond just giving money. You know what I'm saying? And you empower people by impacting knowledge. You empower people by sharing ideas.
Not rice.
Not rice.
So you don't believe in stomach infrastructure?
No.
You believe in the cranial infrastructure?
Yes, just like I don't believe in money capacity. Money capacity for politics is fine, but there should also be knowledge-based capacity, intellectual capacity, and all that capacity, and capacity of a humane capacity to serve people. That comes naturally.
Hello, good evening. This is Seke Modesto. So I'm calling from Imo, Owerri North Local Government area.
Okay.
In fact, Boss FM, I'm already for now trying to reach out to this radio station since.
You're welcome now.
Now you're on air.
But I'm live on air now.
Go ahead, you have your shot. You have a few.
Okay, thank you so much. It's a nice program we have here. And since I followed it up, I haven't seen our incoming senator, talk about IT in the state. Because this is the jet age, we're talking about information technology. The world is going global and digital. So amongst all the plans that he has for the good people of Owerri, don't we think that issues of IT should come in? Information and communication technology, computer training for the youth. At the last administration, I know that during Senator Chris Anyanwu's time, that was when we had something that has to do with youth empowerment on IT, computer training, various programs. But that program didn't last. It was politicized. My friend who got into that program even lost 2,000 naira registration and was not got anything. Because the political issue hijacked it and they messed it up. Since that time, there hasn't been any empowerment program on computer training. So I want to know if our distinguished Senator to be has IT training for the good people of Owerri Zone youth in mind. Is it part of his plan? If it's not part of his plan, can we actually beg him, if eventually he's elected, to include it? Because it's very crucial. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
In this beautiful edifice called our constituency office, there will be a section, a wing. When I talked about youth program, remember I talked about earlier, youth program, women program, and all those kind of programs. That's one thing that we will incorporate. And it will be free. Nobody should pay for it. You understand? And there will also be a library in this place that people can come and learn about political things. I will have like a political library that will be West taught in this place.
That's going to be one location.
Yes.
I mean, we have 9 local government areas in Owerri Zone. Would that be enough to cater for all the areas?
Yes, because you call it and they schedule you. It will be on a scheduling thing. And remember, 9 local governments will be represented in this, have office, resident in this place.
Okay.
It's not going to be a small office. Yeah, it's going to have a town hall place.
Massive edifice.
Yes,
That's a promise.
Yes.
Yes. All right, so you were talking about some of this.
I asked a question if you could speak Igbo, but someone just sent in this message saying, "Good evening, my incoming senator. I must confess you have shown capacity and ability which have differentiated you from other aspirants. You can agree with me that Owerri has rich tourism potentials and favorable sites. Okay, how are you going to turn it around for good of India Owerri? Finally, what is your message to the delegates in Owerri zone going into the primaries?" Yes, I think we need to also address that one.
Tourism is like a gold mine that's untapped. If you look at in my journal again, I wrote about Imo primacy in Igbo land. We have a rich culture, and we have tourism sites. I can count so many of them in different areas. And let's take the one that is very close for us here. Let's take Owerri, the Owerri that is almost going. If you travel to somewhere like Chicago or somewhere like Baltimore, Maryland, you see where the canal was used as a tourist. I enjoyed this thing myself. They gave us a tour of a long side explaining to us the architectural buildings, People were trained to do this. And on that canal, where it's done well, people were doing birthday parties on the ocean. On the canal. People were doing weddings. People were doing parties. So there were private vendors who had these live boats entertaining people and all along. Owerri represents that if it's done very well. If you see Owerri expands from one end to the other end, if she's done very well with the two sides of it, with beautiful buildings, restaurants, all kinds of things that people can showcase, a lot of stores, hey, it will bring a lot of people here. That's Owerri for you. Where people can tell them about the history of Owerri, how Owerri people are, Owerri land. If you also read my journal, you see the history of Owerri land. That history, there a lot of people don't know about it if you read one of the first journal. So there are tourist areas. If you go down to Uguta Lake, if you go down to Umagwa section, I used to go in there where they have all these robbers and everything. Those are areas that we could explore. People like hideout places. If you go to Ikeduru, if you go, there's a Nudo River or something like that. That place looks like a lake. Could be developed. People can go there for a week. Could be well planned and well thought out. And the list goes on and on. And so where it has rich culture. And if you go to the boondocks of the area, Afara area, in Mbitoli, you see different people. There are cultural things like cultural festivities that are, happen during different periods. How do we bring this in that period so that people can come and just for that particular reason? And it could help a whole lot of investors, hoteliers and everything. Look at some of the hotels that are built in those areas. They're almost going out of business.
Echigaraga, ndị okwuchi ọgwụ ga-ala anyị ngejekwu mmanụ ala Igbo ahụ na oke ndị Rivers, mana anyị nwere ngejekwu mmanụ kacha dị Ikeduru na Mbitoli. Ma anyị ga-eji gaga Abuja lee ihe nwere ike ime iji nyakwa ahụ ngejekwu mmanụ ahụ ala Igbo.
Achọghara m ebe ndị ọcha achọghara anyị nwere mmanụ dị Ikeduru. Ọrị nke ise akpa dị mmanụ aka 1937 ka ahụrụ anyị. Abụọ wụ na Ngụgọ, otu wụ n'ụzọ Agba, otu wụ na Ata, otu wụkwanụ na Iho. Akpa dị mmanụ aka. Ụwọ sinetọ nọ, aga m eme ekisho, aga m ekwu okwu gbasara ha so that the Ikeduru anyị unu Owerri zone awọ oil producing area ga-help Maji I have when Imo State. Imo State and River State. Imana constituency allowance we have use for what is on in a foundation or foundation or foundation no more. A foundation no more. Who was senator oge help una maka nkuma ji obodo ndị oyibo obodo ọzọ shabia mu bia lekwa hemmega lekwa akpam ji meruo ya with that leverage ahụ as onye senator nna a ga-ege m amụ ntị sokwanụ m bịa hụ ahụ mmega nyere m aka akpa ahụ because aga m ekipụ no ihe gbasara foundation m ya nọ n'iche na ihe gbasakwa na my constituency performance awụha ihe dị iche aga m emekọ ha constituency morning na ga-eje nga awa na m kpam ji meruo wite ihe ka aka m but ụgwọ senator na o nwekwara ndị ga-ahụ m si ha bịa nyina m aka na ha mmega o ishigbo ha and anyị na-eje elegakwa m anya ịkpọ akwa ndị religious community ma ndị private businessmen community people aga m emecha ha involve na foundation m mee ya ebu mfu ibu ya ihe anyị megabe na pilot na-akpọ ha pilot anyị chikwere example ejilekwara ha anyị mega anyị ahụkwa na shi ọbaga uru ọ na-awa n'ime ya nga ọ bara ụba ya ezuo onye ọbụla.
Aside from the money expected from the federal government and from the state governments towards the Owerri zone, how are you going to raise money, raise funds to actualize all of these ideas that you have proposed? If not all of them, maybe 70-75% of all of these ideas.
You know I'm an international man. I've traveled far and wide. I've met friends from all over. And let's take example the Nollywood that I've now I'm bringing it into Owerri big time. It's been here, but I'm making it loud now. I'm planning working with people to break through in the diaspora, whereby our movies could be shown in movie theaters. And the one we did now is an epic movie of Netflix quality. We're doing the marketing now to make sure that movies, for the first time, Nollywood movies are shown in theaters in America.
As a movie?
Yes. And that's why you haven't seen it on YouTube or anywhere.
A quick one, sir. You know, because we really don't have time on our side.
Yes.
I don't know if you've asked the question. We need to talk about what will you do to support the women empowerment, youth empowerment,
and, people with disabilities,
people with disabilities in Imo State? Because most times when aspirants come, candidates, let's put it now, like candidates come on air or campaign, you only talk about what they feel is sweet enough from their mouth, you know. But we seldom forget these set of people, especially people with disabilities.
You know, I'm working with them already.
And women empowerment, youth empowerment.
Women,
You're going to be fast about it.
Yes, because I'm working with them already. And I've been having meetings, as a matter of fact. And one person who, we don't call them, I call them physically challenged. That's the right word. Physically challenged. And my bank manager in America is on a wheelchair, well, you not know. Went to best schools. For the fact that you are physically challenged doesn't mean that you're down and out. First of all, we have to correct that. These people are smart. These people are intellectuals. They can do what anybody else could do. Now, if you look at some of our public buildings and things like that, there are no reasonable accommodations for these people. Ask your senator, right? In America, there's what they call ADA, American Disability Act, right? It was enacted to show that any public building must have that reasonable accommodation. very good handicap ramp. You're going to have the toilets, the doors are a different size and things like so that they are free to operate on their own. Look at it. You know how you feel like somebody's coming and then you're going to lift them up and carry them on the step and things like that. Right there, you've made that person less of a human. So we have to change that. So all the banks, all the things like when I'm there, I'm going to fight. If the laws are there already, then we're going to enforce it to make sure there is adaptability for these people.
Women empowerment.
Women empowerment. We're going to make sure youth empowerment for women. I'm talking about it to a lot of women. All these contracts that we are having, that we are giving to contractors, we're going to make a law to say that women-owned businesses must get a certain percent. The disability, the physically challenged people must get a percentage. If government is awarding a contract here to you, in terms of supplies and things like that, we're going to say, and we're going to track this to make sure you comply, to make sure that these people are included in the society. They are providing for themselves, that they have businesses that are striving. There are a different women program that I'm going to work. I'm going to have women group working with them.
You're going to work, sir. We don't have time.
Yes.
There's myriads of questions.
Yes,
the phone lines are working, but we would just like you to do this.
Yes.
What is your message to the delegates? It's very important. You just have 2 minutes so we can...
I would tell the delegates to shine your eye. Study very well. Analyze very well. Ask questions. Look at your family, your wife, your children, your mother, your father. Look at the present condition that you're in today. And try to answer these questions yourself. Do you like what you see today? Or do you actually want a change, an improvement from where you are today? If your answer is yes to those questions, I would say vote wisely. Your vote is all you have to make a statement. For all of us who are aspiring to be, I'm quite sure you must have read about us, you know our antecedents, or you've come in contact with us in one way or the other during the process of us campaigning. Money politics has failed us woefully. We shouldn't go in that route anymore. Let's look at the future. Let's not mortgage our future. Let's look at the bright side of things now. Please vote wisely and vote for those people who can attract the dividends of democracy for you and for your community. If this is the way that you're going to vote, I say come along with me. Make me your senator, and I will put that big smile on your face. Your plight remains my challenge. I must change the narrative. Thank you very much.